The city of Dallas is starting a program to provide temporary restrooms near homeless encampments. They'll be placed for 90 days at 7 locations, primarily around downtown and South Dallas.
Tonight, let me ask you a question that may feel uncomfortable. Why, in the wealthiest nation on earth, in a state that prides itself on economic freedom and boundless opportunity, are so many people sleeping on the concrete? And more shocking, why do so many of them turn to drugs, not because they want to die, but because they are struggling just to endure the sensation of being alive? Welcome to Dallas, a city of glass towers, financial power, and glowing highways that stretch like arteries across the North Texas prairie. On the postcards, this is prosperity. On the billboards, this is the land of the self-made man. But postcards never show the whole picture. They do not show what happens in the shadows of the Reunion Tower when the lights go down. Walk just a few blocks away from the manicured lawns of Clyde Warren Park, or the bustling restaurants of Deep Ellum, and another Dallas appears. Silent, cold, forgotten. Beneath the overpasses of I-45 and I-30, tents cluster together in the dirt. In the hidden corners of parking lots, families try to sleep in sedans, covering their windows with towels to hide from the police and the shame. This contrast is not just dramatic.
Either if council members like how the plan is working, then the porta potties will continue to rotate at encampments around different areas of the city, and the locations will be determined based on calls to 311.
It is devastating. Wealth and poverty, abundance and despair, standing side by side, divided only by a street corner. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, in the year 2024, more than 771,000 people in the United States were homeless on any given night. That number is staggering. It is the highest in nearly 2 decades. But here is where the story gets complicated. While the rest of the country sees numbers rising, Dallas claims to be solving the problem. Officials say they have cracked the code. They say they have effectively ended veteran homelessness. They say street homelessness is down. But if you walk the streets tonight, if you look into the eyes of the people at the bridge or Arkling, the crisis feels as raw and urgent as ever. Tonight, we are not here to point fingers. We are not here to condemn. We are here to understand. We are here to investigate the Dallas paradox. How can a city be succeeding on paper while so many human beings are still suffering on the pavement? Welcome to Homeless US News. We refuse to look away. We are going to peel back the layers of the city to reveal the true state of homelessness in 2025. From the street to home initiatives clearing downtown to the invisible families living in extended stay motels, this is the story of survival in the heart of Texas.
The Office of Homeless Solutions will be reporting back to the City Council about how the program is working in late May. It will cost the city $23,000 a year if the program becomes permanent.
Part 1. The numbers game and the reality gap. When we talk about homelessness, many people think first of Los Angeles, San Francisco, or New York City, huge urban centers with tent cities stretching for blocks. But Dallas has its own hidden emergency, and the data tells a conflicting story. Each year, Dallas and Collin counties participate in what is called a point-in-time count. Volunteers, social workers, and officials go out on a single winter night to count how many people are living without shelter. The 2024 and 2025 data has shown something remarkable: a decrease in homelessness. For 3 consecutive years, Housing Forward, the lead agency for the local homeless response system, reported a 19% reduction in overall homelessness since 2021. On the surface, this is a victory. It is a statistic that politicians love to quote, but statistics can be deceiving. While the overall count may be trending down due to massive investments in rapid rehousing, the intensity of the suffering for those who remain on the street has not diminished. Who are the people still out there? They are the chronically homeless. These are individuals who have been without housing for a year or longer, often battling untreated mental illness or severe physical disabilities. They are the ones who slip through the cracks of even the most well-funded programs. And then there is the churn. For every person housed, another loses their home. The inflow into homelessness continues because the root cause is rising rents, eviction, and low wages have not been fixed. In Dallas, the cost of living has skyrocketed. Apartments that were affordable 5 years ago are now luxury units. A worker earning minimum wage in Texas has zero chance of affording a 2-bedroom apartment in Dallas. So, while the city celebrates a 19% drop, thousands are still sleeping outside on sidewalks, in parking lots, beneath freeways, or hidden in wooded areas along the Trinity River. Replace the statistics with faces. A mother cradling her baby in a shelter overflow room. A father standing in line for day labor, hoping to earn enough for a motel room. A teenager doing homework by flashlight in the back of a car. These are not abstract numbers. They are the collateral damage of an economy that works for the winners and punishes the rest. Part 2. The Street to Home Initiative and Displacement. To understand the current landscape of Dallas homelessness, you have to understand the new strategy being deployed, the Street to Home Initiative. In late 2024 and 2025, the city and its partners launched aggressive operations to decommission encampments. The goal is noble: to move people directly from encampments into housing. Bypassing the crowded shelter system, they target specific zones like the areas around the Central Library or Young Street and flood them with caseworkers. They offer immediate housing vouchers, and it works. Hundreds of people have been housed in record time. But there is a shadow side to this success. When an encampment is decommissioned, it is also closed. Fences go up. Police patrols increase. The message is clear: you cannot stay here anymore. For those who accept the help, it is a lifeline. But for those who are not ready, who are struggling with severe psychosis, or who have lost trust in the system, it is displacement. They are pushed out of the visible downtown areas and into the neighborhoods, into Deep Ellum, into Fair Park, or further south into the woods. This dispersion makes them harder to help. It severs the fragile connections they may have had with outreach workers. It pushes them further away from the services concentrated in the downtown core. Like the bridge and the stew pot, we are seeing a new geography of homelessness in Dallas. It is less visible to the corporate workers in the skyscrapers, but it is more desperate. We see encampments popping up in areas that never had them before. We see business owners in Deep Ellum complaining about the Haskell Hotel, a nickname for the growing tent cities under the I-30 overpass. The city claims to have effectively ended street homelessness in downtown. But effective end is a technical term. It means that the system has the capacity to house anyone who is willing and eligible. It does not mean that no one is sleeping on the street. It does not mean that the suffering has stopped. It just means the system is moving faster. But for the man sleeping on a piece of cardboard on a freezing night in February, the speed of the system matters less than the warmth of a blanket. Part 3. The fentanyl fade and the addiction loop. When someone ends up on the streets, they don't wake up one morning and say, "I want to become homeless. I want to use drugs." It doesn't happen like that. Instead, it is a series of pressures piling up one on top of another until escape feels impossible. In Dallas, the drug of choice has shifted. It used to be K2 or synthetic marijuana. Now it is fentanyl. The blues, counterfeit pills pressed to look like prescription painkillers are everywhere. They are cheap, they are potent, and they are deadly. However, recent data from Dallas County Health and Human Services shows a surprising trend, fentanyl-related. Deaths are actually declining. In 2024, deaths dropped significantly compared to the previous year. Why? Is it because addiction is cured? No. It is because of harm reduction. It is because of Narcan. It is because outreach teams are flooding the streets with overdose reversal drugs. We are keeping people alive, but we are not necessarily curing the addiction. Life on the street is relentless. Every hour brings a new threat. violence to avoid, weather to endure, hunger to silence. In this chaos, drugs appear as a false friend. They promise rest when there is none. They offer warmth when blankets fail. They quiet the fear, even if only for an hour. For a person living under the I-45 bridge, a $5 pill isn't about getting high. It's about survival. It's about numbing the physical pain of sleeping on concrete. It's about silencing the trauma of the past. But that promise fades quickly. The body adapts. The addiction tightens like a rope. What begins as one hit to sleep becomes 10 hits to function. And once you are in that loop, housing becomes a distant dream. Landlords run background checks. They check credit scores. They check criminal records. A minor drug possession charge can ban you from housing for years. So the cycle reinforces itself. Homelessness fuels addiction. Addiction prevents housing. And the person remains trapped in the middle, managed by a system that keeps them alive, but struggles to give them a life. Part 4, The Veteran Paradox. Perhaps the most touted success in Dallas is the claim that the city has effectively ended veteran homelessness. In May 2024, Mayor Eric Johnson and federal officials announced that Dallas had achieved this milestone. But what does that actually mean? Does it mean you will never see a veteran with a cardboard sign in Dallas? No. Functional zero or effective end means that the system has identified every homeless veteran and has the resources to house them within 90 days of them becoming homeless. It means the number of veterans becoming homeless is lower than the number of veterans being housed each month. It is a massive achievement of coordination. It shows what is possible when the VA, the city, and nonprofits work together. But we must be careful not to let the slogan hide the reality. There are still veterans on the street tonight. Some refuse housing because they cannot part with their dogs. Some refuse housing because of severe PTSD that makes being indoors feel like a trap. Some are struggling with dishonorable discharges that disqualify them from certain benefits. For these men and women, the end of veteran homelessness is just a headline. Their reality is still a battle. They served their country, returned with invisible wounds, and found that the country they fought for had no place for them. The system is working better for them than for anyone else. That is true, but we must continue to ask, is functional zero good enough? Or should we strive for actual zero? Should we strive for a society where no one who wore the uniform is left to fight for survival? On the home front, Part 5, Hidden in Plain Sight, the working homeless. The most invisible victims of the Dallas housing crisis are the ones you might pass on the highway every day without knowing. They are the working homeless. They are the delivery drivers, the cashiers, the construction workers who build the luxury condos they can never enter. They have jobs, they have income, but they do not have a home. In 2025, the phenomenon of vehicle residency is exploding in the suburbs. In parking lots of 24-hour gyms, in the back corners of hospital garages, and in designated safe parking zones, you will find cars with fogged-up windows. Inside, entire lives are packed into the back seat. Meet the family living in a minivan in a Walmart parking lot in Mesquite. The parents work. The kids go to school. They shower at Planet Fitness. They eat fast food because they have no kitchen to cook in. They are technically homeless, but they don't look like the stereotype. They are hiding in plain sight. The stress of this life is crushing. You live in constant fear of the knock on the window, the police officer telling you to move along. You live in fear of the car breaking down, because if the car dies, you lose your home and your transportation to work in one stroke. This is the missing middle of the homelessness crisis. These people often don't qualify for high intervention supportive housing because they aren't chronic enough. They aren't addicted. They aren't mentally ill. They are just poor. And in a housing market where rents have risen 40% in 5 years, being poor is enough to put you on the street. The suburbs are not immune. Plano, Frisco, Garland, they are seeing rising numbers of students experiencing homelessness. These are the children of the working poor, trying to learn algebra while wondering where they will sleep tonight. This is the silent crisis that threatens the future of our community. Part 6. The shelter system capacity and compassion. Finally, we must look at the institutions that hold the line against total collapse. In Dallas, the centerpiece is the Bridge Homeless Recovery Center. It is a model for the nation, a massive campus that provides shelter, food, medical care, and housing navigation. But it is bursting at the seams. In late 2025, officials reported that the bridge was operating over capacity, hosting hundreds of people in overflow areas. When the temperature drops, the system strains even further. The city activates temporary inclement weather shelters, opening libraries and rec centers to keep people from freezing. But these are temporary fixes. And then there are the faith-based organizations like Arcling. They have built a system that tracks every homeless individual in the city, using technology to connect people with services. They are the boots on the ground, going into the encampments that others ignore. But shelters are not housing. A shelter is a waiting room. And right now, the waiting room is full. The bottleneck is not at the front door of the shelter, it is at the back door. There is nowhere to move people to. Without a massive increase in affordable housing units, not just vouchers, but actual physical units, the shelters will remain warehouses for the poor. We are managing homelessness, not ending it. We are keeping people alive, but we are struggling to give them a life. Outro, the choice before US. Dallas is more than glass towers and neon lights. It is also tents under bridges, mothers holding children in the cold, veterans walking alone at night. Two worlds, side by side. Homelessness and addiction are not separate storms. They are part of the same storm system. One feeds the other, and both reveal the cracks in our society. But here is the truth, and it is a hopeful one. Dallas proves that progress is possible. The 19% drop in homelessness is real. The housing of hundreds of people from downtown encampments is real. We know what works. Housing first works. Integrated care works. Treating people with dignity works. The question is not, can we solve this? The question is, will we finish the job? Will we stop at functional zero for veterans? Or will we push for every veteran? Will we be satisfied with clearing downtown for the sake of aesthetics? Or will we ensure that the people displaced are actually supported? Will we address the affordable housing crisis that is driving working families into their cars? Change is possible, but it requires more than just government programs. It requires a shift in how we see our neighbors. If you believe that dignity should not depend on an address, share this story. If you believe every child deserves a bed, every veteran deserves a home, every person deserves a second chance, raise your voice. This is Homeless US News. We are shining a light on the crisis because we believe that awareness is the first step toward action. This is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning. In the next chapters, we will go deeper into the shelters, into the policy rooms, and into the voices of those still fighting to survive. Stay with us. Subscribe. Share. Because Dallas is not just a city, it is a mirror. And in that mirror, we see both America's beauty and its wounds. The choice to heal is ours.